We make choices in life because of constantly occurring situations that we experience. Whether that's going to school, choosing a shirt color, buying something, we make decisions based on what we know, see, hear, taste, and feel. Choice making is an important part of going through life. It can either take you towards the route of success and happiness, or failure and sadness. Now, sometimes making choices is easy. You get taught what choices to make as you grow up, like buying things instead of stealing them, respecting people's privacy, avoiding misinformation. It happens all the time. But what if you don't know how to deal with a situation? What if you're stuck in a spot that you can't get out of because of your choices? What if your situation happened because of choices you made 10 years ago that affect you now and you didn't know that would happen? These kinds of things are probably the scariest parts of life when it comes to making choices, and I want to talk about that. Choices come in different shapes and sizes, whether that be a very important school exam, or a type of food you eat, or a person you encounter. But here's what can make that nerve-wracking. What if you don't know the outcome of what you did? Like I said, sometimes you know what your choices will do afterwards. If you press the no button on a screen telling you if you want to delete a save file in a game, you know it won't delete the file. If you put sunscreen lotion on, you know you won't get a sunburn as easily. Hell, if you breathe oxygen, you know you won't die from suffocation. But then there are choices that you may not know their outcomes to. If you stay up 30 minutes past your bedtime, what will that do to you? If you bubble a certain answer in on a test, what will happen possibly? If you get a present for a friend, how will they truly feel? There's choices that don't affect you as much in current time, but will affect you heavily in the future. Let's say you smoke one cigarette now and don't do it ever again. You could be the healthiest person alive and not be affected at the moment, but that cigarette could possibly give you major health problems in the future and lower your lifespan heavily. Or think about this. It's a bit of an over-exaggeration, but think about it. You're on a sports team competing in a match where the winners get $10,000 in scholarship money each. You decide while on the bus instead of drinking water, you'll have a sip of soda, thinking nothing of it, and then at one point in the game, you get too tired to keep the other team from making the winning point. You lose the scholarship, and now you have to work stressful hours to get that money back. Such a tiny choice can affect you in the long term heavily, and that's something I believe makes choice making scarier than they seem. Now, what about choices for things that affect routines? Think about a time you didn't expect something to happen. You never planned for it, and it makes you worried because you don't know what to do. Unexpected moments like that can be heart-pounding and cause us to panic. Like imagine if you walk home through the same street you always walk through, and one day a drunk driver is in that street and they're heading right towards you. Or imagine you go to a convenience store and a robbery takes place while you're inside. Things like that can put a lot of stress on people, especially when they need lots of time to sort a situation out. But I think the most horrifying choices are the ones where once you do them, you can't go back. You can't change your mind, you can't fix it, it's what it is, and you have to go through with whatever happens in the future. If it kills you, you can't get a second chance once it's done. If you get stuck somewhere, you have to move on with whatever it gives you. If it ruins your reputation, there's no way you can revert people's opinions. You are a new person to people. And sometimes the choices you make are correct for good reasons, but you had bad luck and something else affects you. I remember this situation back in my middle school where a teenage girl was walking to school like usual, same route and all, when one day a man approached her and flashed his genitals in front of her. She did nothing wrong. She was just unlucky that she was around at the time when she was walking to school. Now she's probably traumatized by that, and it's going to affect her for a long time. She might even need therapy because of that. The guy is most likely in prison, and he isn't going to have an easy life from that incident. He'll struggle to get a job, he'll lose trust from peers, he has ruined himself, and he will not recover from that. That's the kind of stuff choices like these do to people. They can affect you for the worst, and you won't be able to change the results when you weren't aware of that or did something stupid. The most important thing about making choices is how much time you need to resolve them. The best method of making choices is to take your time. Get context through questioning, dedicate time for researching, acknowledge a situation through visual clues, don't jump to conclusions, stuff like that. You need to take as much time as it takes for you to try to figure out the right approach to a situation. But the problem is, time is limited. In life, nothing can go your way as you want it to be. Rarely are you given the time you need. There's always stuff that comes up in our lives that we need to participate in to be successful and happy. We need time for school, for work, for attending family gatherings in order to make yourself and those around you happy. Now, while those may be important, think about how important choices are to people who we need to look up to in order to ensure our safety and health is in the right hands. Doctors, police officers, even a mayor or president needs to make the right choices to keep the world flowing correctly, and one mess up can affect things heavily. With serious jobs like that, it isn't a game. It could be either life or death, accomplishment or punishment, equality or inequality. And it's harder to really control those actions with limited abilities that we can have, like location differences and laws preventing proper actions. The idea of making billions of choices throughout your entire life can be scary, especially when they can be rushed, have unexpected results, or cause complete route changes or dead ends to what happens next without your control. Sometimes you know where to go, sometimes you don't, and it's up to what you do know, what your options are, and the time given to you to think of how you're going to get moving the way you want to. All of this is just a thought in my head that's been in there for a while, and I wanted to put them down in a video after a long time. Whatever your interpretation of this idea is, keep in mind the main points I talked about in this video and maybe apply them into your life, because they might be helpful for you. So, I hope you enjoyed the video, and until next video, I will see you then. Thank you for watching.